Okay, having a look at the Noctua NF-S12B fan. It's a 120mm fan that we have here. One thing that you'll notice with regards to Noctua range, obviously they're designed in Austria. The actual colour scheme that they use is prominent across their entire range, with this sort of brown fan followed by a beigey cream sort of outer on the fan. So let's just have a quick look, see at the box. Open that up a moment. On the back, the one thing that's extremely different about this fan is the blade tips. They use a beveled blade tip. And just look at that one there. Obviously, compared to standard fans, they feel that this sort of affects the way that the airflow gets pushed around the fan. And obviously, with their blade tip design, they feel that it's going to reduce the noise and also increase the airflow. So, but this is what obviously the packaging comes in. There are obviously a couple of different connectors, and also you have 3 different noise level connectors, which we'll come on to in a moment. This is the packaging, and let me have a look and get it out. Okay, so now I've got the fan out of the packaging, we can have a look and see what is what. One of the first things you'll notice about the fan, let me look for a moment. Going back to what I said a little bit earlier, one thing that you'll notice very much about the fan is this beveled edge that they've put onto the actual fan. It's not completely flat like the majority of fans out there on the market. It does look like someone's actually chewed at the end of it. Obviously, what they're stating is that with this, it does improve the airflow, and also the noise level reduces massively. Well, you can have a look. Obviously, the colour scheme may appeal to some, but also other people, to be fair, the colour scheme might put them off. So, it's braided almost to the end, not quite all the way, but when you connect it to the 3-pin fan header, it is obviously braided all the way. One of the other cables that you get here, in fact you get 3 of them. So you've got your standard Molex pass-through. So you could, if you've not got a spare 3-pin header, you can connect it on to that. And then you've got a black cable and a white cable. Now at standard, this fan with just a standard connector will run at 1200 RPM with a noise level of 18.1 on the decibels. The black connector, which is that one there, reduces it down to 900 RPM with a noise level of 10.6 dBA. And then if you want super quiet, the white connector runs at around 600 RPM and reduces it down to 6.2 on the decibel. So obviously you've got your standard case screws, and you've also got their mounting plastic rubber screws as well, which are obviously again in their colour coded scheme. But this is it, this is the fan. It's very strong, very rigid, can't move it. And let's have a look, see what else there is to tell you about it. I think that's about it. So what I'm going to do now is hook it up to the power supply. So give me a minute and we can have a look. Okay, so I've now got the fan connected up to the power supply. So let's give it a switch on and see what it does. Okay. This at the moment is connected at full speed. I'm not using any of the reducers, they're still in the box. So this is running literally at full whack. I must say the airflow from that is, obviously it's very hard for you guys to see it or feel it, but that's a very, very strong airflow that's coming from that fan. As you can see, the fan is spinning very, very quickly indeed. You can hardly notice the fan blades at all. Noise level, quiet, very quiet. But I must say that the most impressive thing about this fan is definitely the airflow. So give me a moment, I'm going to connect up one of the other reducers and we'll have a look and see what that does to it. Okay, so it was running at 1200 RPM, so what I'm going to do is just put you down a minute and connect up the black connector, which is going to reduce it down to around about 900 RPM. And we can have a look and see what the difference is with this now. So switch it on. You can see a noticeable difference, especially around the centre of the fan, where the red, burgundy, brown, whatever colour they are, fan blades are going obviously a lot slower. The airflow's still pretty good, to be fair. Obviously it's not as good as what it would be at 1200 RPM. But if you are looking for something that little bit quieter, then definitely I'd say probably the middle one at the moment. So give me a minute, let me just switch that off. And we can connect up the white connector, which is going to reduce it down to 600 RPM. So if you're after that real quiet system, this would definitely be the connector that you're looking for. So see, now putting the white connector in, switch it back on. And you can see the fan blades running around. Cooling is nowhere near as good as on the middle setting, but you cannot hear that now. Obviously you can still hear the noise from my machine that I've got on, but when I've got it up to my ear, you can't hear that at all. So I would say that this is probably the strongest airflow that I've come across so far. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect it up to my test rig. I've got a side window, Perspex side window, and we can see what it's like with regards to the vibration using the plastic or rubber plugs that they have. So we'll have a quick look to see what it looks like inside the case. One thing that I just want to quickly talk about, these rubber pins that they're actually using, they're very difficult to actually get on to this Perspex window. You can see there's still a little bit of a ridge still to go on, so you really have got to push and pull in order to actually get them to go on. And again, when you're actually putting it in the hole of the fan, it's difficult. It took me about 5 minutes to get the other one on, but I think now maybe, hopefully, I've got the knack of it. But yeah, they're not the easiest to get on, which is a little bit disappointing. Obviously they're extremely flexible, and you really have got to push it far in order to get it to come on. So this might take a bit longer. Okay, so I've now got it hooked up to my test rig. As you can see, looking at that pin, I can't get the thing to go in. These rubber mounts are extremely difficult to pull through this particular window and the actual fan itself. So just be very much aware of that if you were considering this fan, where you're going to put it. If you're going to screw it onto the back of a case somewhere like this, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Using these little rubber mounts, however, they're very difficult. So we'll have a quick look, see what it looks like on this case. I have got it connected up at the 1200 RPM, so I've not reduced the speed at all on this. So I'll probably get, yeah, I've got a little bit of vibration, but that possibly could be down to that loose pin. But apart from that, it's relatively quiet, to be honest with you. tied up there, one moment. So I see looking through there, looking really good. And that's straight at the airflow, so you might get a bit of noise from that now. So there we go. What I would say with this fan, the cooling is fantastic. The rubber pins are extremely annoying, to be fair, and it all depends on primarily what you want a fan to do. Do you want it to cool it down? Do you want the looks, etc.? Do you want the noise? This fan is very good at cooling. It's just the rest of it is down to personal taste. I'm not a massive fan of the colour scheme, to be honest with you, and I think the rubber pins have put me off quite a bit as well. So there we go.